Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel EduPath Class 10. In this video lecture, we will cover our next topic, respiration and transportation. So, what is respiration? Respiration is a metabolic process in which the living cells of an organism obtain energy by taking in oxygen and liberating carbon dioxide from the oxidation of complete organic substance. It is a catabolic process. The organic substance undergo oxidative breakdown during respiration are known as respiratory substrates. Example, glucose. The equation of respiration is food plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. There are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic respiration is the respiration which uses oxygen, and anaerobic respiration is the respiration which takes place in the absence of oxygen. Steps in respiration: C6H12O6 glucose in cytoplasm convert into pyruvate. In human cells, in the lack of oxygen, it converts into lactic acid plus energy, and in yeast, in the absence of oxygen, it converts into ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy, and in presence of oxygen, in mitochondria, it converts into CO2 plus water plus energy. Aerobic respiration. It occurs in the presence of oxygen. It is a process in which a large amount of energy is released, and this is the equation. If you want to take the screenshot, you can. Aerobic respiration process takes place in all multicellular organisms, including animals, plants, and other living organisms. Anaerobic respiration, a small amount of energy is released. It takes place in the absence of oxygen. Some prokaryote bacteria and archaea that lives in low oxygen environments rely on anaerobic respiration. Humans also go anaerobic respiration during vigorous physical exercise, which lead us to the cramps. Alcoholic fermentation. It is another anaerobic pathway for breaking down glucose. This process occurs mainly in yeast. It is used to make cheese, beer, wine, etc. This is the process. You can take the screenshot. Second one is lactic acid fermentation. It happens in human being during exercise. When we exercise, our energy requirement increases as we lack to get sufficient oxygen. Our body has to fulfill the energy requirement through anaerobic respiration. Lactic acid produced in muscle cells is transported through the bloodstream to the liver, where it is converted back to pyruvate and processed normally in the remaining reactions of cellular respiration. Accumulation of lactic acid in muscle cell causes fatigue and muscle cramps. These are the differentiation. Please take the screenshot in aerobic versus anaerobic. Starting materials are glucose in both the aerobic and anaerobic. First step is glycolysis. Second step, third step. Aerobic uses the oxygen and anaerobic doesn't use the oxygen. Aerobic takes place in cytoplasm, then chondria, and anaerobic takes place only in cytoplasm. In aerobic, the products are water and CO2, and in anaerobic, the products are lactic acid. Number of ATP produced in aerobic are 38 ATP, and number of ATP produced in anaerobic respiration is 4 ATP. So, what is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. It is known as the energy currency of cell. The 3-phosphate bonds present in the ATP molecules store energy in them, which is later liberated when they break using water, releasing energy. It is this energy which is utilized by the cells for the contraction of muscles, protein synthesis, conduction of nervous impulses, and many other activities. These ATP molecules are synthesized in mitochondria. This is the energy released from cell metabolism. Now comes the topic respiration in plants. So, plants undergo aerobic mode of respiration. Simple diffusion is used by the plants. The direction of diffusion depends upon the environmental condition and requirement of the plant. Different parts of the plant get oxygen in different manner. Roots get the oxygen from the roots of the plant, take the oxygen required for respiration from the air present in between the soil particles by the process of diffusion. Please highlight this. In between. Different parts of plant get oxygen in following manner. Roots, it gets the air present in between the soil particle by the process of diffusion. Respiration system in stems, it takes place at diffusion. Stems of herbaceous plants have stomata, so the exchange of respiratory gases take place through stomata only. And the hard and woody stems of big plants or trees do not have stomata. In woody stem, the bark has lenticels for gaseous exchange. Then respiration in leaves, diffusion. Respiration in leaves takes place through the stomata. Point to be noted is here that in plants respiration occur all the time, but photosynthesis happen during the day only because it needs sunlight. During the day, CO2 generated during respiration is used for photosynthesis, hence there is no CO2 release. Instead, oxygen release is the major event at this time. At night, when there is no photosynthesis occurring, CO2 elimination is the major exchange activity going on. This is why it is not advisable to sleep under a tree at a night. This can come as a question of 2 marks or 3 marks in your paper. So please take the screenshot of these 2 slides, so that it will help you in your future exams. Now, respiration in plants differ from the animals in 3 aspects. All parts of the plants perform respiration individually, while an animal performs respiration as a single unit. Secondly, during respiration in plants, there is a little transport of respiratory gases from one part to another, while respiratory gases transport over long distance inside an animal during respiration. Respiration in plants occur at a slow time, while the respiration in animals occurs at a much faster rate. Now, respiration in animals. Terrestrial organisms use the oxygen in the atmosphere for respiration, while aquatic animals use dissolved oxygen. This oxygen is absorbed by different organs. We will be studying about respiration in fishes and humans. Fishes and other aquatic organisms use gills to take up oxygen dissolved in water and diffuse carbon dioxide out of the bloodstream. Since the amount of dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic animals is much faster than seen in terrestrial organisms. Water arrives is oxygenated, then water leaves low in oxygen, then concentration gradient maintained all along. Blood arrives deoxygenated, blood leaves oxygenated. Now, respiration in human beings. In human beings, many organs take part. The organs of human respiratory system are nose, nasal passage, trachea, that is windpipe, bronchi, lungs and diaphragm. Nostrils are where the air enters into the human body, and pharynx are the nasal chambers. Larynx, sound box, located in front of trachea. Trachea, also known as windpipe, it has rings of cartilage. These ensure that air passage do not collapse. Here is the figure of our respiratory system in human beings. First, we can see here is the nose, then it larynx, then trachea, bronchus, and this U-shaped one is our diaphragm. And this you can see more clearly. Pharynx, nose, tongue, larynx, left lung, right bronchus. Bronchus you see here, these stem-like things are known as bronchus, and these more branches we can see here are alveoli. So trachea divides into smaller tubes called as bronchi. As I told you here, these little stems are called bronchi, and these bronchi are having little alveoli like these. This stem you can see is a bronchi, and these bubbles like structures you are seeing are the alveoli. Each bronchioles finally terminates into alveoli, which are balloon-shaped. They help in exchange of gases and are surrounded by blood capillaries. Mechanism of respiration in humans takes place at two methods: breathing and exchange of gases. Breathing is the movement of air into and out of the lungs. In breathing cycle, two things happen: inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide. I told you this. And now, exchange of gases between alveoli and blood. The alveoli provides a surface where the exchange of gases can take. The oxygen in the alveolar air is taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessels to be transported to all the cells in body through diffusion. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and let out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for carbon dioxide to be released. Diffusion and respiratory pigment. When the body size of the animal is large, the diffusion pressure alone cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all parts of the body. In human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, which has a very high affinity for oxygen. This pigment is present in the red blood corpuscles. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen, hence is mostly transported in dissolved form in our blood. Transportation is our next topic. In our general terms, transportation means to carry things from one place to another. In biology, transportation is a life process in which a substance absorbed in one part of the body of an organism is carried to other parts of the body. The plants have two types of conducting tissues, xylem and phloem. Xylem carries water and minerals, phloem carries food materials. Transportations of water and minerals. Xylem tissue have interconnected network of vessels and tracheids of roots, leaves and even stem. Thus they form a continuous system. Root cells, which are in contact of soil, actively takes up ions and thus create root pressure. Root pressure in a plant, a force that helps to drive fluid upward from the soil into the water conducting xylem vessels. Water thus moves easily into the root from the soil to eliminate this difference. This means that there is a steady movement of water into root xylem, creating a column of water that is steadily pushed upwards. Plants also use another strategy to move water in the xylem upward to highest point of the plant body. The loss of water in the form of water vapors is known as transpiration. This evaporation creates a pull, that is transpiration pull, and please remember that transpiration pull is only the ascent of sap. So please don't get confused and write horrible stories in your paper. So we were talking about this evaporation creates a pull, which is known as transpiration pull, as well as the ascent of sap, which pulls water from the xylem cells of the roots. The advantages are: remove extra water, help in transportation of water, and help in regulation of temperature. Point to be noted is the effect of root pressure in transport of water is more important at night. During the day, when the stomata are open, the transpiration pull becomes the major driving force in the movement of the water in the xylem. Transportation of food. The movement of soluble food prepared by the photosynthesis from leaves to all other parts is known as translocation, and it is facilitated by phloem tissues. Materials like sucrose is transferred into phloem tissue using energy from ATP. This increases the osmotic pressure of the tissue, causing water to move in it. Now your question is, what is ascent of sap? If you know the answer, please comment it in the comment box. Till then, thank you for watching my video. Please like and share, and please do subscribe my channel. Thank you.